Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hey everybody, it's Monday night. It is You as a Whole, your mind, body, and soul here on USA Global TV and Radio. We are having a little difficulty here. We got a delay. So Jacqueline, I don't know if you could fix that in the background, but I'm hearing myself after I.
Hello, my friend. Yes, I hear it too, but it is not on our end. I think it has to do with your Wi-Fi.
Okay, let's see.
Maybe you can change whatever the setting is. Anyway, hello, everyone. I'm not usually on the show, but here I am.
Let me try this.
In the meantime, while you're trying that, I want to let our audience know that we have a brand new store where people can actually rep our brand and they can wear t-shirts or get mugs or all kinds of accessories with USA Global TV and Radio. So we're really excited about that. How are you doing there? You all right? All right, it looks like Justin's having a little bit of technical difficulty. Justin, how are things going?
Just going to connect to you.
Okay, I'm just going to take Justin off the screen just for a second because he's frozen. So I'm actually here in my studio, and this is for a different show for the Mallorca Connection because I'm not supposed to be on this show. But anyway, I just want to welcome everyone. It's nice to have you in our global audience. We are really thrilled for our continued growth, and we're very happy for Justin. He's got a very special guest tonight. It looks like Justin is back. Let's see. Justin, are you with us?
With us down here. My phone is a hot spot. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. All right, take it away, my friend.
All right. So tonight we have a very special show. It is a show that is important to me because we're having the feedback again, Jacqueline. It's seconds behind. Live TV.
Yes. Well, I can hear you. You are coming in sort of, come and go, but it's definitely the Wi-Fi. And by the way, we have a very nice comment from someone. Let's put it up. Patricia D. Freudenberg. Hello. Nice to see you on LinkedIn. Congratulations on the merch. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks for watching. All right. So, Justin, shall we bring out your guest? You want to do a little bit of an intro?
Let's do that. So, sorry folks about this.
Rachel says that she can hear okay. I can hear you fine, Justin. Rachel can hear you fine. So let's just continue on. Okay. Take it away.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So sorry about that, everybody. But we're going to be talking about achievement dynamics. And one of the things that people know about me is that I know that you have to reinvent yourself. You don't have a choice in this world. You have to reinvent yourself, especially with artificial intelligence coming. That is something that is going to be changing our world constantly. And it's moving at such a rapid pace. So one of the things that we need to do is look at things like empowerment. Yeah. And that's that's one of the things that I want to mention today. We're going to talk about achievement dynamics. And Achievement Dynamics Institute was created by Mario Pinardo, who's just become a good friend of mine. And Mario put this together starting in 1985. He's been doing this for a long time. A lot of study, a lot of psychological research, a lot of work that was put into this. And Achievement Dynamics is the power of self mastery and setting goals and getting achievement through those goals. So things that like what we do there is personal empowerment, youth empowerment, family empowerment, organizational teamwork, business development. And my part of the job is I'm going to be heading up the department for technology and teach people how to use technology to better work in their world. So with that said, let's bring on Mario Pinardo.
Hello, Justin. Can you see me?
I can see you, Mario.
All right, great. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Would you like me to explain achievement dynamics a little bit while we're...
Please.
Okay. All right. Well, meanwhile, 1985, in fact, July 1st will be 40 years that I opened up a company in Cherry Hill, New Jersey called Achievement Dynamics Institute. And it was really 10 years prior to that is when I started to get the vision to want to teach people how to set and achieve life goals. And it started when I was, excuse me, it started when I was 15 years old, and everything I wanted, and I asked my dad for, he would say, if you want it that bad, get it yourself. So at 15, it was a dirt bike. At 16, it was my pilot's license. At 17, it was a horse. And it just kept on going. So I started to develop goal setting programs, started to research all of the books of the day that went back 20, 30 years, Psycho-Cybernetics, Think and Grow Rich, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and started to develop my own goal setting system. And then I went into the school systems in inner cities and started to teach it to inner city youth. And the town that needed the that I went in to help was Camden, New Jersey, which at the time was the most dangerous city in America. So we started teaching it to youth, and then I started teaching it to adults. And then I decided, and then one day, actually in 1985, my mom actually passed away on my birthday. And I said, you know, life's too short, that the most important thing we could do with our life is, or the most important skill set is to understand how to set and achieve goals, because that is where we control the quality of our life, is the ability to create opportunity in our life and making those opportunities a reality. So I launched Achievement Dynamics Institute. I started doing workshops and webinars. But the funny thing is, nobody was coming because it was so many years before anyone ever talked about this. We're talking 1985. It was 6 years before Tony Robbins even wrote his first book. So we're talking 40 years ago. And I was showing it to people, and people didn't understand why someone would need this. And they didn't understand as far as that it was a transferable skill set until I joined the Chamber of Commerce. And I stood up at a chamber luncheon. There were all business people there. And I said, I teach people how to set and achieve and master the process of goal setting. And before I knew it, by the end of that year, I had 100 clients that were coming to my office. I was doing 200 workshops a year on 40 different topics that had to do with personal empowerment, brought it into the school systems. And I just kept growing with it. And the more I did it, the more I understood what the do's and don'ts of personal achievement. And over the years, I developed the empowerment system, Empowered to Succeed. And in fact, I have a 10-minute video that is a PowerPoint of the process of the development of achievement dynamics. And I'm not sure if I know we're having some technical difficulties tonight, but Justin, do you think we can hit that video? You think it will work?
Justin, we can't hear you, but we don't actually have the video.
I think Justin has it loaded in his on his side.
It has to be loaded up here. It's not loaded up. So sorry, folks, we don't have the video at the moment,
Okay.
but maybe you could tell us what it's about.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's just the whole transition of empowerment. And so in any case, so as I started to develop workshops on empowerment, and it was really workshops on goal setting. But what I discovered was you can set goals, but until we become the person that actually follows through and can achieve those goals do not get accomplished. And it's one thing.
Hello, friends. This is Mario Pinardo
There you
from
go.
Achievement Dynamics. People often ask
There's
me,
something
what inspired you to open an achievement school in your local community 40 years ago? So I thought it'd be a good idea to share some background information about myself and the history of our institute. I put together a PowerPoint presentation to explain the origins of our empowerment system and the vision we have for Achievement Dynamics moving forward. So this video is about the early years and how it all started. Well, this is about as early as it gets. I was always a self-starter. Here I am getting in 50 push-ups before breakfast. Even when I was young, I always had a way to stand out in a crowd.
Mario, something happened. It just disappeared. So I don't know. We do shows all week long without any problem, but I think Justin dropped off, and because he had the video there, it went with him. So anyway, for people who are watching and they're wondering, if they're watching or listening, how can I get started? What is it I need so that I can become empowered to accomplish all the things that you have? What would you share with them?
Okay. Well, first of all, we have to understand one of the most important principles of empowerment is called crystallized thinking. And crystallized thinking is written thought. Now, if you ask, and that brings conscious awareness to what we want, when we want it, and why we want it. Now, let me give an example. If you ask most people if they have dreams, goals, values, priorities, strengths, and weaknesses, they would say yes, 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 yes. In fact, many times in a workshop, I'll start the workshop by asking everyone here, raise your hand if you have these things, and everyone raises their hand. And then I'll say, okay, well then, who would like to come forth? And here we are. We're in the 6 months of the year. What are your top 5 goals for this year in their priority? What strengths are you using to achieve these goals? What weaknesses are you working on to bring them into reality? And what values intrinsically motivate you to achieve these goals? But we'll keep it real simple. Just the top 5 single most important things in your life that you've been working on since January 1st. Go. Who would like to start? And most people cannot verbally explain consciously what their goals are in their priority and how they reflect their sense of mission or purpose for their life, much less the plans. And so most people are unconsciously unaware that they really don't know their goals. They know that they're in there somewhere, but until we have to write them down, if I sent an email out 3 days prior and I said, for Thursday night's workshop, have your top 5 goals for the year in their priority, values that they reflect, and your strengths and weaknesses that you're working on, everyone could do it. So a thought in our mind is the term crystallized thinking comes from the chemicals of water, right? A thought in our mind of H2O. Now that's a fog. All right. That's like, it's in, it's out. It moves in quickly and it's gone quickly. So a thought that we just have in our head is fog. A thought that we verbalize, that's like this jar of water. All right. That's liquid. That's like we spill it on the table and it evaporates. So then if you look at the properties of ice, that's a crystallized thought. It gives a thought 3 dimension. When we crystallize our thinking, we're bringing it up through our unconscious mind, and through our conscious mind, it's coming from our heart into our head onto paper. And it gives us the ability to add to our own thoughts. So it's kind of like someone writing a story, you get some thoughts on paper, and then with enough information there, you keep adding and you put chapters in or whatever. That's crystallized thought. And psychologists, I didn't realize it until years later, but it's called cognitive structuring. And so cognitive structuring is developing the internal of who we are, and then we build on that moving forward. So intrinsically, we are sure of who we are, where we're going, and why we want to get there. Now, how do we do that? You create what's called an action planner. And an action planner, a 3-ring binder. All right, you get a 3-ring binder, and it could be, I use view through, and you get 8 dividers. And then, again, this is impromptu teaching, and you divide it up into each area of your life. Now, because of technology, we have computers. So you put a life action planner file in your computer, and then family, finance, health, spiritual, recreation. So each area of our life, we need to have a divider for that we can start building who we are from the inside out. And when you get that action planner organized, whether it be digitally and physically, so it's good to do a digital one, but you want to put it in physical form where you print it out and you can see it, and you can hold it in your hand, and you can and where you can see it, you can see it in front of you. So now, here's what you put into each section. What are your wishes and dreams? If it's family, if it's finance, if it's your career, your wishes, your dreams. If you had no limitations in your life, what are the most important things, or what are not so much the most important, but what are all the possible things that you could possibly want to experience? This is stretching the imagination, because the human mind is God's greatest creation, and we are co-creators. We are meant to create. And so the imagination is where everything comes from. So you want to start exercising your imagination with a wish and want list, with a dream list. And this never ends. You continue with this all of your life, and you have one for each area of your life. And so now you have your dreams. What's your sense of mission for that area of your life? And so what's your sense of purpose? What are your values for that area of your life? What are your priorities? And what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? That's building self-concept. That's building your true self-concept from the inside out. Many people never, there's an old saying that says, many never find the door to success because the doorknob's on the inside. And through this cognitive structuring, conscious awareness, we are building who we are. We are building a foundation that we can stand on and set goals, and it's coming from intrinsic motivation from within ourselves. So once we start designing our action planner, then we start looking at long-term goals. And I look at long-term goals that from 3 years on out, and then medium-term goals, so goals from a year to 3 years, and then short-term goals now for 12 months. So you have three levels of goals. And so now you have direction. You're giving direction to your dreams, and those goals you're able to reflect on who you are moving forward. So that's the beginning of empowerment. And just to put it into perspective, the value of crystallized thinking, here's a question that most 5th graders could answer. What is 789 plus 637 off the top of your head? Now, here's the point. That's a simple, basic arithmetic function to add 2 3-digit numbers if we wrote it down. But when we try to do it in our head, it's a blur. Most people are trying to do their entire life wheel in their head. Each area of their life, their dreams, their values, their priorities, their strengths, their weaknesses, what they want, when they want it, why they want it. And they're walking around with all this in their head, and they wonder why they can't break success barriers. So this is the beginning of empowerment. I'm going to move it over. I hear Justin in the background, so I'm going to see if Justin can chime in here.
I'm back, Mario. And you know what? I'm very lucky because I saw you, about 3 weeks ago on Saturday, and we talked about this with a group of people. And it was really inspiring to me. And one of the things I was talking about that kind of ties into this before we had all the technical problems was that I think in today's world, we have to reinvent ourselves. I don't think that we can continue to go on the way we are, especially with artificial intelligence. I just saw a newscast today where they think there are going to be 1 to 2 million jobs lost to artificial intelligence over the next 5 years. So I think that people are going to have to develop their own skill set, their own brain, and empower themselves to do things that are not inside the box, but are going to be things that are going to be beyond just the everyday, this is what I get up, I do this, I get up, I do this every day. And I think that's what achievement dynamics helps people do, is to grow and to learn and to empower themselves to reinvent themselves when they need to. I think we all have to do that.
Well, and you make some good points, Justin. So if I can just, in continuation of what you're saying, the truth of the matter is that change is really the only consistent in life, that everything's in a state of change. And a human being is a human becoming. As we move through life, we're constantly in a state of change. Our dreams change, our habits change over years, and our priorities change. So the idea is we're going to change, but are we changing proactively or reactively?
Exactly.
So many times people, say in their health, sometimes they're more out of shape now than they were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So change is happening. But the idea in empowerment, you're projecting where you want to be in the future, and you're driving change. Years ago, Volkswagen had a slogan, and on the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. Drivers want it. So it's about choosing to ignite empowerment in your life and becoming the author of that change. And how we do that is through self-design and self-actualization. So this is the beginning of it. And whether it's AI or not, it doesn't matter, because it's taking control of your habits and perspectives and your attitudes and your beliefs, and putting them in alignment with your sense of mission and life purpose. And when you put those things together, that's where the power starts to really ignite and moving forward. And then there's belief systems that we're born with a blank slate of beliefs, and beliefs get programmed into us. So, the idea of belief is that whatever we choose to believe becomes our reality. So the important thing is, when I say developing believers, what I say is people who believe in their own God-given potential, that the human mind, as I mentioned earlier, is God's greatest creation. So the first thing we need to do is believe that we have this unbelievable potential, and it just sits between our ears. And the power behind it, many times I'll be in a workshop, and just to kind of give an example of the power of our mind, when we hear sound, we know about sound waves and eardrums and vibrations, but how can we tell the direction of sound? And I'll just put that question out there to a small group. I'll say, anyone know how we can tell the direction of sound? And most people never thought about it that way. But what happens is, here's how we know where sound's coming from. And I'm using this as an example of the power of our mind. Sound waves travel at 1,100 feet per second. They're coming across a room aiming towards us, and it's called triangulation.
Mara, if I could stop you for 1 second, we have a comment from one of our listeners. There's Rachel. Okay, Rachel's one of our most loyal viewers. This sounds like a good plan for someone trying to start up a business. Would you speak at a school in Philadelphia and Westchester where I volunteer? What is the youngest age you would speak to?
Well, in achievementdynamics.com, there's a whole section called Youth Achievia. And by 1982 or 83, my wife and I, we were working with over 7,000 kids a year in the Camden school system. So part of what Achievement Dynamics is all about is empowering the next generation. So if anyone wants to reach out to me about a speaking engagement or whatever, it's the website is achievementdynamics.com, and my email is mario@achievementdynamics.com. So anyone can reach out to me for any kind of follow-up questions or things of that nature. And so so in Westchester, I'm in South Jersey, so that's all doable. And I can empower people there to be able to do workshops and things with the children. So it could be any age group. But I started out working with teenagers, from 13 to 19. And because even that the frontal cortex, here's some brain information. The frontal cortex is where cognitive thinking comes in. And that's the last part of the brain to develop. And research has shown that if we don't develop that by the time we're in our early 20s, it atrophies. And it's very difficult to get that back, to strengthen that. It takes much more effort. So it's important as teenagers that we teach that by the time we are teenagers, that we learn empowerment and we learn how to plan for our lives and we learn cognitive thinking and constructive action and developing this. So it's one of the missions of Achievement Dynamics is creating an empowerment hub for youth programs and be able to sponsor youth in their goals. So and any other questions or thoughts? How about yourself, Justin? Any questions?
Yeah, in my case, I apologize for the technical problems we had, so I missed some of the points that you were making earlier. Did you talk about joining Achievement Dynamics rather, and what you're looking for people who would be a part of it?
Well, here's a vision. Back by the time I opened in 1985, I wanted to open up empowerment to everyone. I kind of envisioned the model like Dale Carnegie had franchises in every town and every city. I thought it was going to be something like that. But now here I am at the sunset of my career, and I have the system. It's called the Wheel of Empowerment, and I have 30, 40 workshops that you can plug into that wheel. And over the years, if I was in a corporation, this was suddenly an executive empowerment program. If I was in a real estate office, it was how to sell real estate. If I was in an inner city school, it was about setting goals for your life. So I had to come up with a system that was universal. So I have a universal success system. And also this was 25 years before somebody even heard the word coaching. Like, until after 2000, if you were a coach, that means that you worked for your kid's baseball team. So
yeah.
But so what we did was, I knew accountability was important. So I would teach my clients, if you were in a company, you had built-in accountability through your manager and through your peers. But I always would team clients up together, and they learned how to be accountable in all the topics. So it was peer-to-peer accountability from the very beginning. So I empowered them to empower each other. And that's how I spent the last 40 years. And so the cool thing about it is, this isn't on the internet anywhere because I wasn't on the internet. I had 3,000 clients within 50 miles of my office in Cherry Hill. But now I spent the last 2 years converting it into a digital platform. And so there's going to be a community for business empowerment where business people are empowering one another, a community for family empowerment. Over the years, I've worked with dozens of my clients, showing them how to empower, do a family program, so family empowerment, youth empowerment, and then specialized like women empowerment, so each community gets to work with each other, and they get the workshops, and they get all of the materials. It's all connected, and they get to integrate with other communities. So this is going to start on July 1st. And ironically, July 1st is the 40th anniversary of when I quit my job in 1985 and walked down the street knowing that I wanted to somehow show people how to set and achieve goals and not having any idea how I was going to do that. So here, 40 years later, here we are launching achievementdynamics.com. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm gathering my first level of facilitators, because everyone's going to learn how to facilitate the workshops so they can work with each other and then work with their peer groups. And as people join, they get to understand empowerment, apply it in their life, and then they get the lesson plans on how to teach it to the next person. So it really is empowerment to infinity, that as I fade back, I want to make sure everyone in the programs, and it's going to get better because I have my 40 years of research and development, but when we start, I always tell people, when you teach one of my workshops, you're doing it better than me because I'm teaching you everything I know, but then you get to add what you know. Because you talk about artificial intelligence, we've always used what's called collective intelligence. And when two or more are gathered, it's biblical that things happen and ideas start to take place and support starts to take place when two or more people are discussing goals together and are holding each other accountable. So we want to create communities that, like, each community has its own private group, a thread, They're doing workshops with one another, and they're empowering each other. And then we keep, every time somebody joins, and I'm taking in 1985, I didn't know what to charge for this because I had no model to look at. And I charged my clients $595 a year to come to all the workshops you wanted to and to get an action plan. And they just dropped in, and I was doing 10, 15 workshops a week. So I was doing a couple hundred workshops a year. Well, anyway, here I am opening, and it's going to be $395 to plug and play, $595, and you learn how to facilitate the workshops, and $795, you get certified that you can actually, be able to charge somebody for your time, where you're a professional at Achievement Dynamics. So in any case, that's a year. All right. So the idea is to empower the masses and to bring people in. So right now, I'm teaching the first level. There's like 80 people that are on board now as leadership level, and some want to do women empowerment, some want to do family empowerment, some want to do both, some want to do business empowerment, because you can work in more than one community. And I'm bringing on clients that are going to be the leadership, and then those leaders are going to empower the next leaders and empower the next leaders as it goes out, like a rippling effect. And I hope that, I know the material works, I know how important, how valuable. In fact, if we can do a follow-up next week, we'll have more to share, and maybe we'll get some of the technical situations straightened out, and I can show a couple videos on what we're doing. But if anyone has any interest in working with us in launching Achievement, it's going to be like a LinkedIn for achievers, and it's not, and where everyone's empowering one another and teaching one another and adding to all of the robust information that, with collective intelligence, we keep adding more material and more ideas that we all can share. So it's, in fact, for years, my clients would say, Achievement Dynamics is where ideas go to have babies. So we're using the collective ingenuity and collective intelligence and empowering one another. And it's all set up and ready to go. It took me 2 years to transfer the materials and to plug in the technology, being able to do this.
That's incredible. And I'll tell you that Saturday that we met, as a business person, I used to say businessman, but there are so many business women out there too. So as a business person, I really am careful with what I jump into. What's worth my time? What's worth my money? What's worth the expenditure of energy? And talking to you that Saturday, it was just an amazing thing to see and to know that you can touch a lot of lives in a lot of different ways is just incredible. It doesn't, you're not, like you said, you're not limited to one specific thing. And to be now part of it, the C-level part of the company, is just something that I'm proud of, something that certainly will be on my resume, and something that it's exciting to be on the ground floor of something that's so powerful and so dynamic and so different from what's out there already.
Well, and thank you for, and believe me, your enthusiasm and what you're bringing to the table with your technology is, I'm so excited to have a community of people just teaching each other technology using my system, because you can master anything using, it's called the Wheel of Empowerment. You can master anything with the Wheel of Empowerment. It takes you through all the processes and all the supports. And so the idea is to start a program that never ends, that just keeps getting richer and keeps bringing in more people, and we keep creating more communities of people that can do peer-to-peer support, because we learn best from our peers. And also, it's a living vessel absorbs what flows through it. So the more that we teach the next person, the more we take this lesson plan on procrastination, time management, mental conditioning, decision making, conquering fears. These are just some of the workshops. There's dozens of workshops that get plugged into the wheel that you can plug in. It's like for years we called it the health spa, the fitness center for your mind, where instead of building physical muscles, you're building mental and emotional muscles, because they stretch and they work the same way as physical muscles. And also, just like when you have a power partner at the gym, that's, you're that much more effective because you got that energy that's being shared. So anyway, these are all things that are happening. And for anyone that would like more information, you can just shoot me an email, and Mario@achievementdynamics.com, and I'd be more than happy to give you a inside view of everything that's happening. But July 1st is the official launch.
It's incredible how fast that's coming up too. If you think about it, we're already in second day into June, so we're not that far off. So for Mario, that's got to be so exciting to see your dream, your baby come into life. I mean, it's
Yeah, well, it's funny when you say how fast it's coming up. To me, it's you figure I started in '85, and
right.
my goal was to bring empowerment to the masses, and here it is 40 years later, and I started building the digital version 2 years ago. So it seems slow to me, because there was so much to figure out along the way, but now it's all figured out. The people are coming on board. We're starting the first community, which is the leadership community, and then those in leadership are going to be able to choose what communities that they want to work in, and then boom, we're off to the races. It's just a matter of fine tuning it and making it. How fast can we transfer empowerment to the next person? That's the goal. And when I say transfer it, I mean that you become it. You don't just learn the vernacular. When you went to a workshop, you don't just get motivated for a day. It becomes part of who you are, that you're able to actually drive transformation in your life and achieve your goals and help other people along the way do the same.
Yeah, and I want folks to think about this. How many people today offer you, I got this startup business and it's going to make you $1 million, and I started it 2 months ago, or I started it 7 weeks ago, or this whole thing about get rich quick. Mario has put 40 years into this. This is not a get rich quick type of scheme. This is a development of a program that is incredibly powerful because he's taking the time to do it. And that's what a lot of businesses don't do. They go for the quick buck. They want to try to make money as fast as they can. And they really don't care what kind of quality they give you. As long as you pay the money, they're happy. Mario is exactly the opposite of that. Mario is the kind of person where, of course, he wants to make money. Every business person does. You wouldn't be in business if you don't want to. But Mario's main focus isn't about let's make cash fast. Mario is let's get people empowered. Let's get people better. Let's make the world around us better. And I remember Mario saying, as he goes on in his life, and I'm 50 years old, and at least half my life is over, and as we all get older and we're going to move on and pass away, we want to leave a legacy behind. And that legacy, if you have done it by empowering other people, you live forever. You really never leave the earth because you're always there in the other people that you touched.
It is a very powerful skill set, and the power lies within us. It's almost like we all have this computer, and I give the instruction manual, and then I give classes so we can teach each other how to use it. So it really is something that is easily transferable once you know where all the buttons are. It really is. I'm not an academic. I didn't do this because I came from psychology. I did this because I came from a sense of mission and purpose, and I developed it by working with people working with thousands of clients over the years. So I'm confident that it's going to work, and I can't wait to see it work. And I can't, so I can move on wherever I'm supposed to be in the next 20 years and know that I left something that's going to be valuable to other people.
And you're doing that for the rest of us too, which is an amazing gift that you're giving to other people. So I think that you should be pretty proud of that.
Well, again, I appreciate that. And it's just something that I caught on to when I was 15 years old. And I've been, it's been occupying my mind ever since. So it's great to finally see it come to pass.
That's awesome. So I promised Mario that we would do another show next week. So we are going to do that. And next week, I'll make sure that we don't have any technical problems. This is not my first rodeo in live television. And believe me, this happens sometimes. So I apologize for that. And also radio, too. It's another one. But I want to thank Mario for being a part of today's show. And I want to thank him for allowing me to be a part of his dream, Achievement Dynamics Institute, and allowing me to be at a top level position in a company that I think is going to grow dramatically. And not months, months, not years. I think it's going to be 2-3 months, and this thing's going to take off like a rocket. So if you're interested in being a part of it, if you're interested in just learning some different things, being empowered, you want to reach out to Mario. You can reach out to me too, and I can get in touch with Mario. So you can always reach out to me as well. So we are at the end of the show. I want to, as we always do, run our commercial if we can, and that is about the NHL charity game that's coming up August 23rd. And by the way, June 21st, we're still working on a location. We're going to have a memorabilia and book signing with Brian Propp of the Flyers. He's the Flyers Hall of Famer. And Mark Howe, who's a former Flyer Hall of Famer and an NHL Hall of Famer, son of Gordie Howe. He's going to be there, and they're going to be signing autographs. We're looking for a location. We might have one nailed down. If not, we will have one nailed down by next week. That's Saturday, June 21st. But that's to set up the big event. The big event is August 23rd of this year. We're going to have Checkmates Charitable Association is the name of our charity. We service people with inflammatory bowel disease and ostomies. And there's our website. And we're having a blowout game this year. We're going to have amazing people there. Mark Recchi, another NHL Hall of Famer. Brian Propp will be there. We're trying to get Rob Brindamore to come out. Other players. We have Bernie Parent that will show up and sign autographs. Joe Conklin will do a comedy skit, I should say. Lauren Hart's going to come and sing. Referee Kerry Frazier, one of the greatest referees in the $50. That's it. You get the game. You get the dinner after the game with the players. You get a 2-hour open bar, full buffet. You can't beat it for $70. That's it. And you're going to be helping people who are in desperate need of your help. So let's see what it looked like in past years gone by, just so you get a taste of what it will be like this year. And it's only a taste.
I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you came out tonight and helped us out on a very special evening. Crohn's and colitis are terrible diseases, and they affect a lot of people, not only in the Delaware Valley, but all over the world. And hopefully we can find a cure someday.
Nolan here with you at the Checkmates versus the Flyers alumni. We had a great time this afternoon. Game was close, and we're all here for Checkmates Charities, which is the real reason that everybody's here, not only the players, but all the fans that were here. It was a great day, and we're really happy to be here.
It was fun to be out here at Northeast Skate Zone because the Checos were a pretty good team, and so we had a lot of fun with the charity. And it was good because they took it easy on us old guys. So we had a good time. So anytime you can do something for charity, and know a couple guys on the other team, and just to be on the rink, we all go have fun.
Good times go. I'm either gone in an instant or here to the bitter end. I never know what I got.
I want to thank my family for all that they did to help me get through this, and there's a lot of planning that get done. It has to get done. I want to thank Nick's Roast Beef and Common Avenue for all they've done. Dr. Prieto for saving my life and finding the disease and treating me for so long. And the Flyers organization for all they do to help us raise money every year. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
I'll see you when I'm gone. I'll see you.
baby, you ready to go? Because I'm ready to go. We're getting close to that August 23rd event. And Mario said it very, very well. A group of people can do a lot of things. So we need people. Don't just watch and say, hey, I might go, I might not go. Buy a ticket, go to the game. It's $70. And you get a game, you get NHL players, and you get to have an open bar for 2 hours. You can't have a night cheaper than that, really, with all that. And comedy and celebrities. So come on out. We need people. That's what we need. And if you come out and join us, you can buy tickets on Eventbrite, NHL Celebrity Game. If you look on Eventbrite, we're giving the money to CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, their GI department. Also, Embracing Ostomy Life. Rolf Benirschke, former NFL kicker, who had an ostomy for 7 years, has started Embracing Ostomy Life, and I'm supporting him as an ostomy patient myself. And I can't do this alone. Obviously, I need you. And without you, it doesn't get done. So are you in the boat with me or not? I hope you are, because I would be there with you. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for watching this week. I want to thank Mario Pinardo for not only being on the show, but allowing me to be a small part of his vision and allowing me to grow with him. And I appreciate that. And he'll be back with us next week. So have a great week. We will see you next Monday.
Lady Ella flies up high, spreading kindness through the sky. With Lord Jack right by her side, through the world they glide. They listen close, they understand, helping creatures in the land. With open hearts, they lend a hand. Come along, come and see. Kindness starts with you and me. Listen close, hear the sound. Kindness makes the world go round. Goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga. So spread your wings and soar so high, like Lady Ella in the sky. With Lord Jack we'll always say, listening and kindness light the way.
Conveniently located in the Cherry Hill Mall in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Avio Art specializes in custom art and photography printing. From museum-quality canvas prints and stretching to photo restoration, fine art reproduction, and framing with museum-grade glass, every service is completed in-house with exceptional attention to detail. Visit avioart.com or email support@avioart.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the journey from a spark
to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today.
USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award, proudly presents Just the Thing for Your Ring, introducing the patented Ring Thing. Your premium personal ring holder to keep your ring safe, nearby, and avoid loss.
The Ring Thing just got smarter. Add your logo and an NFC tag that opens to your website with one tap. Waterproof, inner padding, and now a forever business card.
Just the thing for your ring. Scan the QR code seen here to learn more about Ring Thing or place your order. Follow Ring Thing on Instagram at ring_thing_ or go to our website ringthing.com.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honored to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by executive producer and director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbick. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.